The other day, I met a magician, and he said, I want to show you a trick. He said, look, I have 3 cards here. The first one is an orange, but that's not important. The second one is also an orange, but that's not important either. The card that's important is the tomato. All you have to do is keep track of where the tomato goes. Then, when he thought I wasn't looking, he quickly moved the top card to the bottom, and he said, okay, where's the tomato? I said, well, it's on the bottom. He said, no, now you owe me $10. I said, well, I didn't know we were playing for money. He said, it's okay, I'll give you a chance to get your money back. So you know it's not on the bottom. Where do you think it is? I said, well, it's a 50-50 chance. If it's not on the bottom, it's got to be the middle of the top. I'll guess the top. He said, well, now you owe me $20. I said, oh, man. He said, give me one more chance to win my money back. He said, okay. He said, look, if it's not on the top, it's not on the bottom, where do you think it is? Well, I was pretty confident when I said the middle. But again, I was wrong. So then I said, hold on. You only had 3 cards and they were all oranges. You must have switched out the tomatoes. That's not fair. He said, no. The tomato's right here. He goes, in fact, you could have picked any card. It would have been a tomato if you were paying attention. I said, wait a minute. You just showed me 3 tomatoes and 3 oranges. You must have 6 cards. He said, nope, just 1, 2, 3. 3 cards. So I was about to walk away. He said, I'll give you one more chance to win all your money back. He said, look, if that one's a tomato and that one's an orange, what do you think's on this card? I said, I don't know. This is just bananas. He said, yep, and I won all my money back. All right, here's what I absolutely love about this trick. There is 0 setup needed. You really literally have 3 cards, and they could be any 3 cards. I used the orange, the tomato, and the banana. I literally got these out of my 7-year-old son's playing cards that show all the fruits because I like the story with the banana. But you can make the story be anything, and you could use any 3 cards. You could use a regular deck of cards as well, so just grab an ace and a queen and a 2 or something like that. So there's a couple of quick moves that you do need to learn, so let me go over those first. All right, so move number 1 is called double turnover. So basically the way it looks is you show those 3 cards, put them together. I say, look, the top card is an orange, and the second card is also an orange. And I drop it. So you say, well, wait, I thought you had 3 different cards, but you just showed me 2 oranges. Actually, no, there's an orange and a tomato. And that's because I flipped 2 over at once on the first move. So here's how it looks. You have 3. As you put them together, you keep your pinky underneath the first one. So when I push them together, you'll see what I mean. There's a pinky break right here under 2 cards. And that way, now from the side, I can just pivot them, kind of spin them around together as 1 card. So I flip it over and I show it. It's really 2 cards. Looks like 1. So what I'm doing is I'm showing the tomato, but when I flip it back and I drop it, I'm dealing the orange, not the tomato. Now I show the exact same card again, put it down, and I drop it. Now what's important is that every card that you flip the same way so that it doesn't look suspicious, right? So you don't want to say, hey, here's an orange. Let me put it down. And here's another orange. It's like, well, why did you flip that one that way, but the other one different? It's got to be consistent. So even though you're doing nothing wrong here now, you just flip it the same way and you deal it the same way. And then the third card, which is just 1 card, again, don't just flip it over. You'd flip it like that and like that. Okay. All right. The next move that you need to learn is another pretty simple one, right? Tomato, tomato, tomato. This move is basically just showing the exact same card 3 times. So here's what happens. I show the bottom card, but then when I flip it back, I grab the top card. That's not the tomato, that's the banana, right? So let me show you that again. Tomato, grab the top card. Show the same card again, grab the top card off, show the same card again. Show the same card 3 times, 3 different cards. The final move that you have to learn, this one's a little more tricky, is showing the bottom card as the top card. So I'll give you the example, right? So see the tomatoes on the bottom, right? But I want to make it look like it's a top card. So I would say, all right, let me show you the top card. And I flip it over, and it's a tomato. So what I did there, it's actually 2 cards. So what I did there is, let me put the tomato back on the bottom. Okay, banana's on top. Okay, so what I did there is, I pulled the top card back to show the middle card. And this is the part of the trick where I'm saying, well, if it wasn't on the bottom, it's either on the top or in the middle. So you have a reason to show the middle card. And then when you push the middle card forward, I'm going to do this slowly. I'm going to push this forward so that the bottom card and the top card match up next to each other like that. So that now I can grab this. And when I'm grabbing the top card, I'm actually grabbing the top and bottom card right here. and pulling them together away and flipping 2 cards over and then drop it. So it takes a little bit of practice, but you know, you'll be able to get it. So again, it's you're showing the top, and you say it's either the top card or the middle card. I think it's a top card, and I push them together and I flip them over, you know, as one. Don't do that. In real life, you don't have to be so clean about this. Obviously, on camera, it's a little tougher, right? But you know, you can do it. You can even make a little mess because you're moving around while you're talking to people. You're turning, you're moving, you have bigger motions, right? So it's like, oh, it's not the top card, it's not the bottom card. I think it's the top card, you know? So you kind of move back here and you move forward, and you could be a little messy with it, and they still won't notice it, all right? Okay, so here's how the order of the trick goes, all right? So you set the reveal, whatever the last card is going to be, and I use bananas. Again, you can use any cards you want, right? You can get blank cards and write "fooled you" on here or something like that, or "no, you're wrong" or whatever. So I'm going to put that on top, the card that I don't want them to ever see. And then the other 2 cards really are indifferent. You know, you could either start with tomatoes or oranges. So I'll do it this way. All right, so here's the moves. I start with a double turnover to show a tomato, which is really 2 cards, remember that, but they don't know that. And then I drop the tomato down, and I say the second card, also a tomato, and I drop it down, and the third card is the orange. That's the one you have to pay attention to. And then I do the same thing. I'm flipping it over and dropping it, just to follow the same cadence of what I did already. Then, again, I'm getting a break underneath these 2. I say, look, then he moved the top card to the bottom when he thought I wasn't looking. I'm actually moving 2 cards together as one. So I'm saying he moved the top card to the bottom. Now you show the bottom card, it's tomato. And he says, okay, well, now you got, you know, is it in the middle or on top? You say, well, it's either here, this one, or this one. I think it's on top. Now I'm doing that move where I just pushed them together. I think it's on top. And I flip 2 over. No, it's not. Now when I flip this over, again, this is 2 cards, so I'm basically putting the tomato into the middle now, so that I could say, is it on top, bottom, or middle? It's got to be the middle, right? Then the next part of the trick is, well, you know, you said you had tomato, but I saw oranges, but I saw all 3 tomatoes. There must be no oranges. You just show the bottom card. There's the orange. And then they say, well, wait a minute. You could have picked any of these cards that would have been an orange, and you're going to show the same one 3 times. Orange, orange, orange. And then the person said, well, hold on, you must have had 6 cards. You're literally just going to deal them on the table. 1, 2, 3. And now you show your hands super clean because you are super clean. And the rest of the trick is done now. The dirty work is done. But you have the big reveal coming that they're not expecting. So now you say, look, this one's an orange, this one's a tomato. What do you think's on this one? That's just banana. And, you know, pause on this one. Let them think about this, because when you flip this over and it's a completely different card, you're absolutely going to blow their minds. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe.